An inside look at the restaurant industry and entrepreneurial insight to help you succeed. It's the Paper Trails Podcast with Albemarle Paper Supply.
What's going on, guys? How are you? Nick Caligari-Mitros here, coming back at you with the Paper Trails Podcast. Listen, I know it's been forever. It's been a couple of months. So we had a little bit of a pause in the schedule, and so obviously, we've been handling our business and making sure that things are running smooth with the paper company. But we're back. We're back, episode 10, and we are at Bisonte Pizza Company here in Uptown Charlotte. And I got Jim and Steve here. Some customers of mine, some the owners of the business, and as you guys know, we love talking to entrepreneurs. This podcast is all about entrepreneurship, business ownership, or people that just want to succeed in their field. And so, we had a chance to talk beforehand, and I've known these guys now for
close to a year.
Almost a year. We've done business together, and it's been a tremendous relationship. And but yeah, so excited to have these guys on the podcast and to kind of share their story, their background, where they came from. As you guys know, they have a awesome facility. They are from up north, Buffalo area. Huge Bills fans.
Bills fans, yeah.
I'm sure.
Grew up across the street from the stadium.
That's it. Right here near down the street from the Panther Stadium. But I'm sure they'll give some shout outs. But anyway, Jim, Steve, if you guys just want to maybe pause.
I just want to clear up one thing.
Okay.
The camera adds 10 pounds. We're using 2 cameras. So it's 20 pounds. I'm really not that chubby.
Yes. Listen, we are all fit. And, but no, like I said, we've had a great time chatting with these guys, and so if you guys maybe, I think maybe the viewers would love just maybe your background, your story, how you guys, I know my family owns restaurants. If you guys follow the podcast, you guys know, and my dad and his 2 brothers own 3 restaurants, and anytime you put a family in business together, it can sometimes get a little tricky.
It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
A ton of fun.
But yeah, tell us how it all started. How did you guys move down here? How did you end up in restaurants? How did this whole thing happen?
Well, it's really interesting. We've been in the restaurant business forever. We high school, we went through the restaurant business, and Jim's been in the restaurant business forever. And about 12, 13 years ago, my son moved down here. And he was like, "Oh, pizza and wings, it's nothing like you can do in Buffalo. And, boy, it'd be a great concept down here." And I looked at Jim and I said, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny someday, to do that?" And then several years later, he got married. And I'm like, I have to go down to Charlotte, bounce grandbabies on my knee. Jim, do you want to go do pizza? And he's like, "I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it."
So your son moved down. He got married.
Complained about the pizza
and wings because it wasn't like Buffalo.
So both you guys were still up north.
Correct. We're both in Buffalo.
In restaurants or no?
He was in the car business and I was in the restaurants.
Okay. And so you left, totally different industry.
Totally in a different industry,
But you knew restaurants though.
But back to it, right? Because when he was high school, 30
yeah.
years away and then back. So he dragged him back in.
You guys, so what year is this that you guys moved down?
So I came down in 2012.
And I came 2013.
You're following me. I spent a year in the marketplace, and we would eat all these different restaurants. I'd call Jim and say, "Jump on the plane, come on down." We probably spent that year about $3,500 eating lunch at pizzerias just to really understand the market. We'd eat a pizza here, we'd eat lunch there. We'd go for the third lunch. "Come on, Jim, we got to go have another slice." Just to know what the pizza was in Charlotte and to know how different we were.
We want to really learn the market. We really want to learn the market.
That's a really good point, though, right? For any listeners, before you dive into and make investments, why don't you check out the territory?
Check it out.
What's happening? Where are we at? Who's our competitors?
Anybody that said, "Oh, this is the best pizza," we went there. And I'm talking from Mooresville to South Carolina. And anywhere in between. They said, "Oh, this is the best pizza." We're like, "Okay, let's go." And we planned our attack. And like you said, there was days we had 4 lunches. I'm like, "Oh."
And we would eat chicken wings and pasta and meatballs and,
and the sub
just
sandwiches.
everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so 2012, 2013?
Correct.
And then Bisonte started when?
2013, and March 23rd, we opened our first store in Matthews.
Okay.
Bisonte means buffalo in Italian.
Okay.
So it's Bisonte Pizza Company, Buffalo Pizza Company.
Yeah, so if you guys did, your last name again?
Dapolito.
Dapolito. If you guys didn't listen, it's Italian, we're Greeks, man. We're family.
It's all the same.
We're one vowel short of being illegal. So one more vowel, they just come by and arrest us for no reason. So
So, it's in your blood. It's in
Absolutely.
your
right.
blood. So-
Absolutely. I started making pizza when I was 13 years old, and I never stopped. 39 years that I've been making pizza. That was one of the things that Steve was like, let's go down and do the pizza and wings. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's go do it. The place I worked at in Buffalo was the largest pizzeria in the country.
Wow.
They don't sell any alcohol or anything called Lenovo Pizza. And it's been there since 1957.
Wow.
And I was with them for 15 years, and it was time to go branch out on my own. And with my brother, what other, it couldn't have been any better.
Yeah.
Here I am with my older brother, and we got to do our dream. It's been my dream since I was a kid.
And I really wanted to do something with Jim. So I tell everybody if he was a widget maker, we'd be in the widget business. So he happened to be a pizza maker, so we're in the pizza business.
Listen, that's an amazing thing because, you guys have such a connection and such a bond. It's a good thing. What a blessing it is that you want to be in business with your family, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we were always tight as kids, too.
Absolutely.
We were always...
There's two more of us. There's 4 boys within 5 years. So there's one just older than Steve, and one in the middle is me and Steve.
And they're in Buffalo?
And they're still in Buffalo, yeah. And they were all in the restaurant business. They were all in the pizza business too. And then they, one is a machinist now, one is a physician's assistant now.
Nice.
But the 4 of us as close as could be. And then we have my little sister, 13 years younger than me. She's a teacher just like her father.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we got to bring a lot of cool recipes down. We use our dad's meatball. We use our grandmother's sauce. Everything we do is homemade. It's fresh. It's, we ship down our sub rolls from Buffalo. We ship in a margarita pepperoni from Buffalo. We do pizza logs, which is like an egg roll with pizza. We ship that in from Buffalo. We use a lot of local stuff. All of our produce is locally grown. And, so we like to be diverse between both. We want to feed everybody.
Sure.
We're a little bit Buffalo-centric, but we feel like good food travels anywhere. And it's worked.
100%. And so you definitely have a Buffalo style, it sounds like. You want to bring that, what you guys grew up with, all those years of making it, you want to bring that flavor to Charlotte.
Yeah, and Buffalo's known for the wings, right? Everybody knows Buffalo wings, which we do a great job with that. One thing that's not as well known is the Buffalo pizza. It's very unique, it's very different, and it translates very well. The first location was proof of concept.
Okay.
So really demonstrated that people outside of Buffalo really enjoy that pizza, and it's very different.
And Buffalo style now, you think of, you heard of Roman, you heard of Detroit, you heard of New York, you heard of Chicago, you heard of the St. Louis thin, crunchy, you heard of California. Buffalo style, believe it or not, it has its own style of pizza. And it's really simple the way I like to describe it. New York is thin, Chicago is real thick. Buffalo's in the middle, and so is our pizza. So our pizza is just a little bit thicker than a New York style, not as thick as a Chicago style. It's a little sturdier. It has a little bit more dough in it.
We pile it on.
But we pile the ingredients on. So that's really and then the traditional Buffalo style is the little curly cup and char pepperonis, where they curl up and they get a little brown,
Got a lot
black,
of flavor
and
to
stuff.
them, a little spicier.
Yeah, so that's the difference between we hear, I never heard of Buffalo style. It's not hot sauce on pizza. Buffalo's a city, not a flavor.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. Mild, medium, or hot, that's a flavor. Right? So
Give me buffalo sauce. I'm not sure what
buffalo
flavor you
sauce.
want.
Well, there's a buffalo sauce. It's a city. It's not a flavor. Just so happens like a Philly cheesesteak. Well, if you're in Philly, they just call it cheesesteak. If you're in Buffalo, we just call it hot sauce.
We just call it a chicken wing. It's not a buffalo wing, right?
Correct.
That's hilarious. Okay, so that's good to know because I know I've been to Chicago. I've had the deep dish. New York, we all know it's a classic, super thin,
thin, crunchy.
Slice. Yep. And so obviously, I'm sure you're biased to Buffalo, but any other kind of pizza you guys like? I'm just curious right now. Do you guys like deep dish?
I like.
If it's got dough sauce and cheese, I'm in.
I like all pizza. I honestly do. It's funny because some of my friends, and I'll even have a frozen pizza in my freezer too.
Nice.
Because you never know when you got to have a slice. So I'll eat frozen pizza. I'll eat Chicago pizza.
Appreciate it for what it is, right?
I just enjoy it all. And I really want to, and Steve does too, we want to try other different stuff. Just to see what's out there, see what's, and
we can enjoy it.
I've been doing it my whole life.
We eat
I
the
love
Neapolitan pizza too. We can enjoy that for what it is. It's just very different. And some people are very loyal to the style that they grew up with, and they say if it's not like that, it's not pizza.
Yeah.
We've got friends that are from New York City, make New York pizza. He won't put a hot pepper on a pizza. Doesn't belong. I said, will you cut it in squares? No, you don't cut a pizza in squares. I'll cut the pizza however you want. It's a traditional thing too. We call it a party cut. That sometimes you cut the round pizza in squares, and you get all these funky little shapes, these little corners. It's pretty cool. But some people are traditional. They have, no, you can't cut a pizza in squares.
So, so March 2013, you said?
March 2013.
Matthew's location started.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Just past 7 years over there.
So how did it start? Was it difficult? Give us, because I mean, there's a lot of people that, I think especially now, right? We're in, June of 2020, 30 years ago, to start a side business or a hustle, it wasn't possible 30 years ago. You had a job, maybe you did landscape on the weekends or something, but it was hard to start a business. It was very hard. In today's world, there's so many things that you can do as far as starting a business. And I think people want that. I think people would like to own a business or have a little more flexibility. Tell us about the beginning.
Tell
us about the start.
Have a plan.
Yeah, the early years are tough. They really are. So when you first start a business, you can't go open a business with a concept that I'm going to make X number of dollars. When you start a business, you live on what's left over. Once all my bills are paid, my employees are paid, what's left? And having a plan is the key. What do I want this business to generate for me? So how big does it need to be? And if you want to be a single location, there's one plan. If you want to be a multiple location, there's a larger plan. And the upscale is going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot more sacrifice in the very beginning. So that's the hardest part. Two things. Income expectation when you start a business.
Personally. Not the business sales or
correct.
Okay.
So you have to understand that, and the other thing that's very important to understand is the roller coaster ride. Right? We work for somebody, and there's an emotional roller coaster that we experience in work. Sometimes we have good days, but it's a very small roller coaster. The hills aren't very high and the valleys aren't very low. When you get involved in your own business, that's a crazy ride. There's very, very high highs and very, very low lows. And managing that emotional experience, that's the other thing that's very, very tough about starting a business. If you can understand those two things and know, you know what, you've had hard days working for somebody, they're going to be harder working for yourself. You've had some great days working for somebody, there's going to be greater days working for yourself.
That's a good point. I see, I guess anytime anybody asks me, my cousin and I had the paper company 12 years now. And if anybody asks me about starting a business, I always say there's an emotional stability piece that you have to be able, because the business is so up and down, your personal life can't be an absolute disaster and expect these employees to, you have to be the bedrock for these, they have to lean on you.
You, the captain of the ship.
100%.
Well, my biggest thing too is, we can have the best recipes and we can have the best food and we can have the cleanest facilities and we can market it the best of anybody. But the most important thing is people. 100%. We're in the pizza business, but we're really in the people business. Because I can't make every pizza, he can't make every chicken wing. So it's how do we get people involved with us to stay with us? And really that's your biggest attribute. That's really what's going to make you successful or not. Do I have people that are going to follow us? Treat them the right way, treat our customers the right way, treat the employees the right way in order to grow. And so to me, it's all about people. You got to get people that are going to be with you and follow things the way you want it done. Yep. That's real. You're in the people business, even though you own the paper company. You don't deliver you didn't deliver to me this morning. Nope. Your guy did. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's really all about people and how do they get it right.
And that steady leadership is obviously it's a key. To have that, because people want stability, right? They want to know that they've got a good leader. Do I have a job tomorrow? Yeah. And people that come to work for a company, they really want that stability. And as a leader, a business owner, you need to provide that. Especially in uncertain times. Uncertain times.
Right? They need to know that, hey, I'm paying my mortgage with. I need to know that I can, that these guys are going to bat for me. Yeah. And so,
Sure, our decisions affect 108 people. We affect 108 people. We don't affect 2. We affect 108.
100%.
Yeah, and communicating that to your people too is important, right? As a leader, communicating, hey, this is what we're doing. We have a plan, and people, if they understand that you have a plan, it's easier for them to follow.
I love that. So let's talk early days, Matthews, Bisonte Pizza Company. What did you learn? What are some things that maybe we can pass on to other people to learn? Was it out the gate perfect? Was there some kinks you had to work out? Was there, give us the first year, that year, March 2013 to March 2014. What did you guys learn from a new city, a new market? Anything that stand out to you guys about?
Well, I would say probably the thing that we learned the most was the sacrifice required, right? So we started a brand new company. It's a little tiny pizzeria out in the middle of Indian Trail with cows literally across the street, right? The area has grown significantly.
It has.
But you look at it, you go, well, you can't sell pizza to the cows. And so it started out very, very small. So we had to be creative. We had to adopt our plan. We said, this is what we think we're going to do. And then as we went along, we said, okay, let's make an adjustment here. Let's make an adjustment here. So having that ability to be flexible
to pivot, yep.
and to look, and you have to kind of look into a crystal ball and say, I think this is going to happen. And kind of look at your environment and then make a call, make a decision, and go with it.
It's almost like a marriage. I mean, because there's days you can work a 3-hour shift and you know you got enough people on and you know that everything's all set and you go, okay, I can attend this event or I can do this event. And then there's days you walk in there at 10 in the morning and you're the first one to unlock the door and the last one to lock the door. I can't tell you how many times I was first one in, last one out. And that went on for probably more than a year.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Where we're just every day.
And you have to do whatever it takes.
Doing whatever it takes, making it great, teaching and coaching and quizzing every day, getting the kids involved to make it the way you want it. And could we have stepped away a little bit sooner? Maybe, but I don't think it would have been as successful as it was. You know, we poured our hearts and time and our effort and our energy into it, and that's why we were successful there, and enough to enable us to open up number 2.
Yeah, I think that's something that's way overlooked is the sacrifice. I mean, I see a business like a baby, and it doesn't produce anything. You know what I mean? Or the goose laying
100%.
Got to teach it. We teach it to walk, teach it to talk, teach it to jog. Then you can let it run.
100%.
Absolutely.
And it needs time and energy and effort and strategizing and communication and vision and goals and a plan and then adjustments and then pivoting.
And you can't be afraid to work hard. I mean, that's really you got to put the time in. I'm going to open a restaurant. Those are the guys that are on the restaurant shows when they're going in to fix them because they don't spend time in the restaurant. You got to be there. It's just, that's I've learned that over 39 years. If you're there, you can make it great. And the more time you spend in there, the more time you're going to make it. You put right systems into place and hope and have your people follow them.
It's really about having an understanding of the entrepreneurial spirit, right? You have to be willing to work 80 hours to avoid working 40, right?
It's true.
So
100%.
you put in the time, you do what you do, you got to build it, you got to have a plan. And as you approach the plan and the maturity of that plan, if you've done everything, then all of a sudden you can start looking and going, hey, I only need to work 3 hours today.
We're going to hit the golf ball when we're done here.
Sure.
Both of us are going to go, hey, see you later, guys. We're going to go play golf today.
100%.
How nice is that? But, here we are 7.5 years later, and we're able to do something like that on a Tuesday afternoon, not so much on a Friday.
No, of course. But, it's a good point that the owner is the face of the business, right? Like, I know, like, my family, my mom and dad, everybody, they've had the restaurant for 27 years. The sort of my dad's at, they know my family.
Yep.
My mom goes there on the weekend. I mean, it's,
And they
when
want
she's
to
not there, they ask where she is.
Like, hey,
when she's not there, they ask where she is.
100%, because you are the face of it. You know what I mean? And so, but good point. Once you establish and put things in place, then you can step away.
100%.
That's the perks of it.
And as it grows, as the business grows, and if you grow it that way, if you grow it with that intention, if you learn to delegate, right? So that's important that you can delegate and you can trust people.
And again,
you can let them make the decision. You can be okay with the decision. And if it's the wrong decision, coach it up and say, hey, next time this comes up, this is the way we want to handle it.
That's it. I mean, that's a big part of duplicating yourself and empowering people, so that the business can continue to function without you physically having to be the person making the decision.
Every minute of every
it's
day.
really cool too, Nick. You mentioned, let's talk about, March 23rd, 2013 to March 2014. And March 22nd, 2014, we entered a competition called Pizza Wars. CBS Radio put it on, and it was 32 pizzerias at Panther Stadium, and they all brought pizza, and they had all 5 radio DJs judge it. And there was all these different places and all these different kind of pizzas. And Steve said, Jim, what do you want to do? And I said, I just want to do cheese pepperoni with a sesame crust. That's it. Traditional pizza. And we brought it there, and we unanimously won. Best pizza in Charlotte one day before our 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, I get goosebumps thinking about it. We knew that pizza was going to last in Charlotte. We knew that the good food was going to travel anywhere. because right then and there, it was all 5 radio. The guy jumped down. He said, "Hey Jim, all of us picked you," and I was blown away. And then we said, "Hey, guess what? We made it, bro. Let's get this thing rolling now. Now we know we came to the right spot."
That's what a good, like, not that we always look for validation, but you know what, man, like having what a cool
We
story.
worked hard for a year going, is this working? We're not making any money yet. Is this working? We're not making any money yet. So a huge validation.
Huge. I mean, and I was telling Steve before, even my cousin and I mean, our first 4 years, we made no money. I mean, we were making $500 a month. I mean, working full time, 40, 50 hours a week. You know what I mean? And like, it's nuts. But we could feel the momentum.
Yeah.
Like I could, our business is a little different than a restaurant where we don't have the capital intensive money up front needed. I mean, I need a truck and a metal building and some product
And an inventory.
You guys have equipment. Employees, staff, labor, products, food. I mean, there's so much.
And the rent here square foot is way more than what it is in a
100%. And so
warehouse.
And so it's just a little different concept, but the work is the same.
It's the
I
same.
had a one by one go out and get every single customer to build that up.
But think about this. If you said, "Hey, I need to take $5,000 a month out of this business instead of the $500," where would you be today?
It wouldn't exist.
You wouldn't exist.
It literally.
You would have gone out of business.
Your reality was right.
And here's the other thing, and you'll know this too. And if people aren't involved in the business side of it, understanding cash flow, right? One day you look in the bank and there's a big pile of money, and the next day you're going, "Where am I going to get money for this?" And when the big pile's in the bank, you can't go, "Oh, hey, let's take a little bit." You have to know what your expenses are, and that's all part of the planning, right? Know what your expenses are. How much money do I need? And if you don't know that information, you certainly don't take the money. You take the money when you know what you have left and all your bills are satisfied. And believe it or not, most businesses go out of business on an upturn because they start getting more income, more money coming in, but then the cash flow requirement goes up. But then they think there's extra money, so they start taking the money, and all of a sudden the company starts running lean on cash. And then all of a sudden there's no money to pay this, no money to pay that, and no money to pay this. And it's through that growth and cash flow is really the difficult part, managing and growing a business.
I feel like, I don't want to say it's everything, but cash flow is so important.
That's why most businesses fail. They run out.
100%.
Yeah. And you have to think about it like cash flow is like blood in your body, right?
Yeah.
When you were 2 years old, you had a certain amount of blood in your body, and now as an adult, you have 3 times as much. And understanding as your business grows, it's going to require more cash to stay in the business.
Sure.
It's not cash that you get to take.
Customer.
Got customers.
Sorry.
Nah, you're good, man. Hey, business first.
Business first.
Right?
We're doing the interview. I'm watching a customer over there. I'm like, I wanted to jump up, so sorry. You can cut that out if you want.
You're good. Nah, we're good. But that's awesome. So a year in, contest, validation, you've kind of struck some oil. Okay, like this is a good concept. People are buying. People are understanding the name. So when did Uptown location? What was that? Did you guys always know you wanted a second location?
Yeah. We'd like to have more.
Part of the planning.
Yeah, we have a plan. 3, 5, 10 years out. Where we'd like to be, what we want to do, and in that Matthews store, we just kept going and going and going. And I think our first week is now like our Thursday night.
Wow.
What the sales in our first week is a Thursday night today.
That's awesome.
So the growth has been we watched the growth year over year there, and then we had all these people that been with us from day one. And then we're promoting managers, and now we're going, geez, Steve, we got all these guys are doing really, really, really good. We don't have to be here as much. I can't not work. That's what I have an apron on for 39 years every day. And he's like, let's go find. And again, it probably was a 1.5 year process to find number 2, where we did our research. We drove from Timbuktu to South Carolina.
Looked at all kinds of properties.
At millions of different properties. Learned about finding other properties. learn the area. Again, when we focused in on this one, 710 West Trade in Uptown, we said, okay, we spent nights just sitting outside, people walking by. Hey, does the neighborhood need pizza? Oh my gosh, that would be great.
No kidding.
Oh, we'd stop people all the time. We go to the bars in the area.
With lunch bags and
We go by the bars in the area. Yeah, go to buy the bars in the area. Hey, what do you think? Oh, that'd be great. But learning our surrounding again, learning what we can do again. Then we put the plan together. Then we put the financing together. And number 2 happened for us June 23rd of 2017. So we just hit our 3-year anniversary at this location.
So I guess we have to open everything on the 23rd of the month.
Yes, that'll be something.
It'll be ready on the 1st. We'll say we got to wait 22
So the
days.
23rd.
Hold on, time out. So 2013 to 2017, right? So
Correct.
A few years later, you really got an understanding of your business, your model, the pizza staff.
The staffing was right, the food was right, the vendors were right. We were doing the right thing. We were able to resource some of our products from the Buffalo market. We had a great staff of people, great managers, and then, like I said, been with us from day one. It was almost at a point where like, you guys don't have to be here, and they're like kicking us out every day. And we're like, we better go get number 2.
How cool was that though? That
it was awesome.
That you have the right people where they say, hey, just go.
Yeah.
Home base is good.
They tell me all the time to
we're
go.
good.
They're like, go ahead. And it's not because they don't want to work with me. Because then if I go away for 3 or 4 days, they're like, we missed you. So that's a good thing, I guess. I don't know. I got to wrap my head around it. Sometimes they kick me out, and then sometimes they tell me they missed me. I don't know what they're talking about.
Here's the interesting part, too. When we first came to Charlotte, had the idea, we talked to property managers. Nobody wanted to lease to us because we had no history. So it was very hard to find that first location. What we found out was once we had a location, people were more than willing to talk to us. And so the opportunity to grow becomes easier, but you have to make sure you're ready.
We could have went
out and signed out 2 or 3 leases.
We have people call us now. They're like, hey, you guys looking for another spot? Come and look at this place. And they don't even know if we're looking or not. And they just want us to come and look at it. Because
we're not ready yet. So when we're ready, that's when we're going to the next one. So once you start growing, you're going to find a lot of opportunity is going to come your way. But make sure you're ready. Because a lot of companies will do that. They'll make that mistake. They'll go, we're ready to grow, whether they are or they aren't. So we have like a financial goal for this location, a debt ratio, and once we meet those, which we're very close to.
People. Do we have enough managers? Are we overflowing with managers? Ready to move
so there's
on?
4 or 5 key things that we're looking at to say, we're ready to go to the next location.
So it's not just an impulsive, hey,
no way.
Sounds like a good idea.
I want to have 5 stores. I'm going to open 5 stores.
Yeah, I want to have the status of being 3, 4, 5, 6 locations, and no. There's actual metrics.
I think the business dictates when it's time to go to that other store. Like in Matthews, it took 4 years, and it was okay. Geez, it's time to go. And now here we are 3, and we're getting pretty darn close here. We're probably got our eye open. We're looking around a little bit, and it's that time now. It's okay. Now it's time to go again. Could we open them faster? Could we open more stores quicker? Absolutely. You're going to take a much, much bigger risk doing that.
Sure. There's time invested, right? Like you actually opening the store. There's money invested that could be lost if you're irrational about location, size.
Don't pick the right location,
Right? I mean, the last thing you want to do is dump money into a location and build it out. And then you don't have the people, the money, the cash flow,
the cash flow, the debt ratio, all of those things.
Wow, that's awesome.
The market research, you didn't do the right marketing on it. Is it all families here? Totally 2 different markets. And our Indian truck, it's all families. All families. Here, it's a lot of millennials. Yep. A lot of millennials,
single,
lunchtime.
Young married couples.
Lunchtime, it's big for the lunches because you got a lot of big high-rise around you. Down in Matthews, it's not really big for lunch. Dinner time is like flipping a switch. Boom. It's all family. So, and making it a family-friendly feel. Hey, here we have booze and a full bar. There we don't. There we do beer and wine table service. So what fits for that market too, which is just as important.
I think one other thing, Jim, that we were talking about beforehand that I think was impressive that I didn't know about is how I think sometimes people just think just a concept or a restaurant or a business, it's just the good idea will just itself make it. And your point was, you guys aren't just sitting here with your hands underneath yourself, waiting people to walk in. You guys are very proactive.
Yeah,
you just go out there.
Can't just unlock the door and turn the sign around and say we're open.
Think about this.
you won't make it.
Way back when we first were able to pick up a tape and put it into a box and watch something on our TV, there was two concepts, right? There was VHS, and nobody remembers Beta, right? But the Betamax was the best tape, but VHS had a better marketing plan, you know? And so it's really a combination of things. You got to have a great concept, but you also have to have a great plan. How are you going to go to market? How are you going to talk to your customers? How are you going to get your name out there? And if you don't do those things, and how about this? There's been some great restaurants, friends of mine, great food, great pizza, great wings. They just did not market the place, 100%. And they're not here today.
100%.
Well, like you said, you went out and got every customer one by one. And believe it or not, that's exactly how we do it in the restaurant. We want every customer that we grab one at a time. And word of mouth is the number one thing. Having a great food, the word of mouth is what actually made us successful, is word of mouth, people telling each other. But we're also doing radio. We're also doing some TV. We also do
social media.
A lot of social media. We also do some mailbox
Texting.
droppers. We also do texting. We also do email. We also do in-store signage. There's so much more involved with just saying, I got great food and I'm going to open a restaurant.
Yeah, that's what, that was impressive to me when you started telling me that you guys both together go do some radio spots on 2-3 different stations. You guys have a relationship with the news channel. You guys feed them. You guys take care of them. You built that relationship. It's like building these bridges, where you just have such a network of support that someone's gonna come in.
Someone's gotta come. Yeah, someone's gotta come.
There's no way it can't. You know what I mean? And I just think that's so impressive because it's really easy to not do that. It's really easy to just wait and rest on your laurels and just let your pizza do the talking and that's it. But the way you grow, in my opinion, is getting more aggressive. Going out there, reaching people, talking, stuff like that.
You said it. It's a mouthful. Building bridges. And that's what it is about too. And not only just customers, but in the community. We do a lot of things for the community, spirit nights, and get involved with a lot of charities.
I told them there's not one time I don't think we've ever said no for a donation. We'll give you a gift card. We'll give something. There's a 25 golf tournament.
Raffle it off.
Some sort of benefit. Do something. We'll give you something. Can't always write a $500 check to
I would love to be
them.
able to just stroke everybody a $500 check, but you can't always do that.
Well, we're going to give you something.
But
we're going to try and be part of it.
help them move forward.
And we want to be a part of it. Not even just so much that we get them as a customer, just because it's the right thing to do in helping people. If we're in the right situation to be able to help somebody and they can make a couple extra dollars on a gift card because somebody donated to that cause, that's
Raffle
awesome.
it off.
That's awesome. That's what we care about.
That. That's awesome. I guess maybe in wrapping up, is there anything that you guys have learned over the last couple of months? Maybe dealing with different external situations that we're not ready or used to. I don't know. I know it's been so kind of awkward for everybody. Figuring out takeout, this specials, online ordering, deliver. It's just been. I think we can all agree we've had to figure it out.
Yeah.
There's no playbook. You know what I mean? And if not this, maybe something else. Listen, life is going to throw different things at us, whether personal life or business. I think it's a lot about adapting.
Yes, and being agile, right? Be able to say, hey, this is what I see in front of me, and this is what I can do. We all know what we're not willing to do. We have to ask ourselves, what am I willing to do? What am I willing to do in this new situation?
Sure.
And it's easy to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do this. What will you do?
Sure.
A lot of things too is, maybe you look at your menu and you say, okay, I'm going to streamline my menu or something, which you should be doing anyways. Every 6 months you look at your menu and what's not selling, move it away.
That's a good point.
Move it on. If it's not selling, move it on. Try something new. If that starts to sell, then it makes the menu. We won't put anything on the menu unless we eat and go, wow, that's great. Not good, great. And then it makes the menu. And then you look at the menu and say, oh, these aren't selling, this isn't selling. And then so you move them out. Maybe at this time you do a limited menu because then you can put it out a little bit faster, especially if you're not set up for delivery or takeout. Lucky for us, pizza, we have been. That's a big percentage of our business already. But a lot of our friends, a lot of my friends that have other stuff, and they didn't do hardly any takeout. Takeout was 2% of their business, and now they've had to readjust. And the readjustment aspect of it, which was we were able to help them a lot because okay, now I got to get the right takeout container. Now I have the right situation. Who's packaging it? Who's making sure it's done right? Where is it rung up? Where is it rung up in my restaurant? The process. Well, how does it flow through the kitchen right? And then, like I say, looking at the menu, taking a real hard look at the menu. Who's going to order eggs? Give me 2 scrambled eggs to go. That's a hard one to sell.
It is.
You know, you can make that at your house, but maybe I could do something different and move it up to a higher level or lower and still get them to order from me. So being able to adapt and change your menu, even at this time, is, I think, important and necessary. And having your staff change and the way you do things so that you can become more efficient. Third-party deliveries, online ordering, you know, making it simpler. You know, we sanitize pens, we do all this, everybody's wearing masks, everything, you know, so there's a lot of different things going on that are different. So you got to be able to adapt with it and still continue to do the things that you know work. Clean restaurant, great food, still marketing the place, and still, you know, so there's things you still have to do, but there's things you do have to change about.
And what he's talking about, menu, how you relate it to any other business, menu is even like for your business, right? You're looking at your inventory, right? If you have a rack of dead something that's not moving, right? You're better off to blow it out the door, lose money on it, get rid of it, move it out, bring that new inventory in. Same thing, it's like a menu, right? A restaurant menu. Hey, if I'm not selling this product, this food, get rid of it. And so whatever business you're in, you can look at your menu, your product offering, your service offering, whatever I'm not moving, whatever's not selling, cut it loose, get rid of it. Let's
try something new.
Yeah, don't get emotionally attached.
Yeah, I love these Solo cups that I sell, but I can't get rid of them, but they're a great product. Yeah. Not selling them, get rid of them.
Yeah.
I love tater tots. I don't have them on the menu. You know, I love macaroni and cheese. I took it off the menu. We weren't selling a lot of macaroni and cheese. Sell a lot of other macaroni. So a lot of Alfredo, so a lot of pasta. So I mean, it's things like that. You got to continue to move and adjust.
That's a good point. And I think if we boiled it down to, I think it just takes thought, mental energy. Like you have to, you know, in my opinion, I don't think that there's nothing that sustained thought can't overcome. If you really just take some time and jam and mastermind and just say, okay,
you get analytical,
brother, Jim,
analytical and critical.
That's it.
Look at your business critically. Critically, how can you criticize yourself?
I like that.
This pile of whatever's on my shelf stinks. Get rid of it.
That's it.
This item on my menu is not moving. Get rid of it.
Yep.
Be critical. Criticize yourself.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to think there's people out there that are trying to put us out of business.
Everybody is. Everybody wants a piece.
You have to have that. I mean, I'm not saying be paranoid, but like you need to have that kind of sharpness. Like you can't get dull. Like
100%.
You're like
complacent.
You can't and have, you know, a long-term successful business that maybe you could pass on to your kids and your grandkids and build some kind of legacy. So
I put that apron on, tie my sneakers up, and I got my running shoes on every day. I'm trying to run. Okay, I'm fearful that every day that somebody says I ordered a pizza from your place. How was it? Because I want to hear that it was great. And when I hear that it's not great, I need to do something about it and react and make it better.
100%. So last thoughts, any advice to anybody out there that has aspirations, ambitions, any like one tip?
Don't be afraid to work hard. Put the time and the effort and the hours in. You know, I mean, it's really, you got to be there. You got to put the time in. You definitely have to put the time in.
Like nothing
time. You got to be there. You can't just say, I'm going to open this up and then hope that your manager runs it the way you think that it should be run. Those are the ones that fail really fast. You got to be there and put the time in. And teach you to walk, talk, and run.
And I would say find a mentor or mentors, people that you can ask, you can have conversation with and say, what do you know about this? What do you know about that? Don't be afraid to ask questions about whatever you're trying to do. Learn. Find mentors and ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, there's a saying, I don't know if I read it or if I heard it somewhere, but it's there's no lack of answers, there's just lack of desire to find those answers.
Correct.
They're out there.
They're out there.
You wanna start a dry cleaners, you wanna start a landscape company, you wanna start a bar, you can figure it out, especially now. Like there's so many sources available to learn. I mean, and listen, Nick, I don't have a phone or computer. Go to the library.
Yeah.
I mean, there is answers out there.
That's a great point.
We had a guy come in and he helped us with the sound here, and he started talking about, I want to do a brewery, and him and I had a bunch of conversations. He talked about a bunch of things. Today is a brewery about 5 blocks from here.
His brewery?
Yeah.
It's a brewery.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But he was asking questions, and we had a lot of conversations about the food program.
Always picking the brain.
And
Good for
so
him.
he asked, and I told him.
I love that.
And we're friends today.
I love that. Well, awesome. Steve, Jim, I think this was fantastic.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
guys so
Thank
much.
We appreciate you. We really
guys,
do.
Come check out Bisonte Pizza Company. They're absolutely fantastic pizza, great wings, great menu. Come by, try them out. We have an Uptown location, and then we also have one in Indian Trail. And so come visit these guys, and like I said, follow us. We have social media platform. Follow these guys as well. On all their platforms. You guys have. What do you guys got?
Facebook, Twitter,
websites,
Instagram, website, online.
Everything.
And when you do come and get a pizza, it'll be in an Albemarle paper box.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, it'll be
And like Jim says, come have a slice with us.
Come have a slice, so it'll be in his box.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you the next time. Thank you.
Thanks.